You just landed in.
Where are we again? Hello, guys. Thank you for listening to us again. This is Where Are We Again, Aggie and Monica. And today we are going to talk about reverse cultural shock, which is
Yeah.
when when you return to your home country after living abroad, and the feeling that you feel a little bit of an outsider, and if it's not your home. We chose this topic because Aggie recently visited Hungary, and I'm still in Hungary after a year from Mauritius. So, so we thought it's a good topic because even we are not moving back to Hungary, but just when we visit, uh, we experience some kind of like cultural shock. So
Yeah.
what do you think, Aggie? How do you feel when you visit Hungary from Denmark?
Yeah. So hello guys again on a new episode. And that's true because I was just calculating before our call that I left Hungary around 13 years ago, which is quite crazy
Wow.
actually. And yeah, I first moved to Germany, then to the UK, to London, and now I'm living in Copenhagen in Denmark. And I kind of went through a journey, and you will see, like, I think once you leave your home country, you will have these different waves of feelings, the same in you and also the people who are at home towards you. So it is, I could say now that it is kind of a cultural shock for us now to go back. Yeah, it is definitely. And now, yeah, we just been to Hungary, and well, you're still there, but I left already. But one of the main reasons was to go there to go our girl trip to Slovenia. So we were driving from Budapest to Bovec in Slovenia. So it was an experience, and I haven't been to Hungary since more than half a year actually, because the last time I was there was last Christmas. So normally at least minimum 2 times a year, trying to go home, sometimes even more. Um, but yeah, it's not that often anymore to see my homies. How often do you guys go home?
Well, for us, yeah, it's a bit different because we live really far away, so we
Yeah.
can just come home once in a year. So, and the 1 year is quite a long time. So
Mm,
every time we come back, well, every time, this is the second time basically because we moved
yeah.
to Mauritius like almost 2 years ago. So this is our second visit back to Hungary. But one year is, yeah, it's really long. So but even like comparing to our other visit last year, I experienced some differences. Like, for example, which is really weird, I just realized that I started to call home Mauritius, to call my home when
Mm,
I'm talking about Mauritius. And like,
yeah.
oh, at home we do this, or we
Yeah.
do this and this. And I'm trying to correct myself, saying, "Oh," when I say home, but then, "Oh, I mean in
Yeah.
Mauritius." But like unconsciously, I started to call home, and it's so weird. Even for me, it was surprising that I say that, because I think last year when we came, I just said in Mauritius we usually this and this and that. So that was for me surprising. Um, I guess for you, Aggie, after 7 years in Denmark, you call Denmark your home, no?
Yeah, yeah, and it's actually quite impressive, no, how crazy easy for us humans to adapt to a new place and call it home, and it's kind of prove itself that you make your own home. It's you don't have to be locked in one place to have that your home. But yeah, it's true. I have this feeling as well, like this is my home now, and going back to Hungary is kind of visiting family, but it's a bit different home. Very hard to explain, and probably the experts know these feelings that you are a little bit like, where do I actually belong? You belong a little
Between
bit there,
two
but you also,
countries.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So it's very, very strange feelings. But I think for me, if I'm just thinking like how the family reacts to me when I'm going home, like I don't know how you feel, but of course, when I moved abroad, I had these different. I'm going through some changes. I remember the first time I moved abroad, I actually got some kind of skin allergy or reactions. So I changed my diet quite drastically, considering how I used to be before. So when I lived in the UK, I turned to a vegan. No, it's actually not true because I was more like vegetarian, not a vegan. I was kind of mixing a little bit, trying to eat raw and trying to eat a lot of vegetables, trying to avoid milk products and meat products because that's what they thought caused me some kind of allergic reaction. Um, so I remember my family was completely shocked in the beginning, like, why are you doing this? It's and I was also started to talk about because you start to learn about all the bad ingredients, like what is bad for your skin, for your health, and I always came up with this thing: this is bad to eat because of that, and this is good to eat because of that. And I remember they were like so tired of me listening to it, and they were like, "You're," they were like, "Yeah, Aggie's crazy, like whatever, just leave it on her." But I think. And then of course when I moved, it's weird, but when I moved to Denmark I kind of left all that behind. It's also a bit hard to eat healthy in the UK. It's
Yeah, I can imagine. A lot of fast food and
a lot of fast food, a lot of weird food, and you just simply don't get the same quality. Of course, when you have so many people to feed and it's just mass production, and yeah, and of course the companies will go for profitability as well, so they're not going to necessarily give you the best quality products. They just yeah, it's it is what it is. You need to know what you're eating, and that's therefore you start to become this extreme, selected diet person, like but because you have to, because of the environment. And then when I moved to Denmark, it completely changed back to normal again. I don't do that anymore, and I eat everything. But yeah, you have these kind of journeys, waves of journeys, and the family is just like, okay, this
yeah, what's
like this
going
girl
on
is
with
a bit
her?
crazy.
But you eat the traditional Hungarian food when you come back to Hungary, right?
Yeah, and I actually love going back to eat, langos.
It's the best.
It's
Yeah.
like this dough fried in oil. I know a lot of people would hate that. It's fried in oil, and you have this
Really
nice and
unhealthy.
soft but crispy dough, which is a savory dough, and then you put some, well, most people I think put garlic as well, like garlic cream and some salt and sour cream and cheese. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
I always want to eat that. And but I have to say, like nowadays, when I eat this, it's I start to feel really heavy in my stomach after that. It's
It
not
is
the
heavy, yeah.
same because when you're used to that oily food, I think in the Hungarian food culture there is a lot of like heavy oily food. I guess you kind of your metabolism and stomach get used to it and can handle it. But when you don't eat that anymore, you just
Yeah.
um, you
You
just
can
react
get
heavy,
sick.
and I was
You
like,
have to
oh
be careful.
yeah, it's very can be very heavy. But I love to eat Hungarian food when I go home. Yeah, but
I
I
miss
guess
it so much, the food, for
yeah,
sure. I mean, I'm
yeah,
trying to cook sometimes Hungarian food, but obviously it tastes different
yeah,
than here. You don't have the
yeah.
same ingredients.
Yeah, exactly. The ingredients are different. And we have this thing, which I actually didn't know at the beginning, this white paprika, what we call TV paprika.
Hmm.
Um, I can't buy it in many places. Sometimes, Lidl can be quite picking like other nationalities' food and bring it to other countries, which is great. There you can find it sometimes, but not necessarily in the stores. And that gives a lot of the basics of the Hungarian food is this pepper, this white pepper, and tomato and the onion. I
Yeah.
think like lecho base is in everything. um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just tastes different, and of course the paprika spice. I always bring that to Hungary from Hungary, and still, I actually just did my purchase stocking up for the next year with paprika spice and Yeah, all the Hungarian things. Honey, I always bring honey. We have the best honey in Hungary. Acacia honey, I love it. And literally, you can't get the same um, in other places. You can get also like these tiny, tiny bottles, but we always get it. There are a lot of like we have some families in our neighborhood who has their own bees and they make honey, and you can get this big portion, liter size
Yeah.
honey. So I always come back with like 5 or 6. So I have like 6 liter of honey at
Oh,
home
you can
because we
take
use honey.
honey. Okay.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
luggage,
yeah.
and you just hope that it doesn't break.
Yes, that's the thing.
but,
Yeah. If it
but
breaks, oof,
I
your
always
clothes
stock up.
full of honey. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what about, for example, the traffic? Like comparing, I don't know, like Denmark to Hungary, because Hungary,
Yeah.
I mean, known kind of like how they drive, kind of aggressively. Uh, because
You
we were
know,
driving now a little bit in Hungary as well.
yeah, I know. You don't realize, you don't see these things. I think until you leave your country and go to another country, you think that's normal. that's you think like, and everyone is coming with a stereotype how people drive in Italy and the southern countries. Oh my God! Now that we were going and renting the car from Budapest and we were driving through Hungary and also down to Balaton, which is always super busy in the summertime, and from Balaton to Austria and Slovenia. Oh my God, people are so impatient. They are in your neck. Of course, no one is following
Yeah,
the limits, the speed limits, and it's just you just see that people are very stressed. I would say it gives you a very strong impression of Hungary. As soon as you get into within Hungary border, you feel
you
this
can feel the
tension on the
difference.
roads. It's full
Yeah.
of tension, and you have to concentrate a lot, and you just cannot allow to just to chill and drive. I In Denmark, I
No.
always chill and drive, and I don't feel the need to push it to the max. I'm just listening some music and just enjoying the drive. But Hungary, you can't afford that because they would like honk you off the road. like I don't know. That
Really,
was
really
my impression.
impatient, and
I
yeah, everyone is
how
in a hurry.
Yeah,
So even it's weird because obviously in Mauritius, I mean it's Africa, so okay, people they don't really like following the rules even when you're driving.
yeah.
So I'm used to that, and I'm used to, okay, there are people walking, on the side of the road, people crossing narrow roads. So I'm used to that. But here is the thing that yes, that they are like so stressed that everyone is in a hurry, and everyone is like, I can see in a mirror like coming so close, they wanna go. They are like, come
In
on,
Hungary,
go,
right?
go, go, and it's really
Yeah, they're driving
um
in your ass, which is
yes,
annoying, and that's not
yes,
safe
really annoying
either.
and really
Yeah,
dangerous. So
yeah.
and I don't experience that in Mauritius. Okay, they don't follow the
Mm.
rules, they go whatever they want, but they don't do that. Like they just, like for example, somebody just stops in the middle of the road because somebody is getting out or whatever, and then nobody cares. They just go over and that's it.
Yeah,
But for example, if you would try here in Hungary, especially in Budapest, if you stop, then they would like
go
honk and
mental.
get out of the car and I don't know, hit you or something
Yeah,
and shout at
yeah.
you. So it's cannot, even if you go slow. I felt like when I was like going like slower a little bit because I was not sure, the directions. I was looking, okay, which direction.
Mm,
I was going, slower, and then like everyone was like going really fast, really close, and I was like, okay, I have to go faster because they come so
mhm.
close. You feel you have to go faster, which is
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's dangerous. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely it was a bit shocking. And for me actually, um the weird thing is, in Mauritius they drive on the other side, on the left side of the road. And
Oh,
first,
yeah.
and I'm used to it. And then
You were
I
cleaning
remember
the
when
window a lot.
last year, when I visited last summer, immediately when I started to drive, I drove on the right side. There was no problem, nothing.
Okay.
And this year I felt like I have to concentrate, like which side of the road I have to be. And even sometimes when I'm on the right side, like I feel unconsciously, oh, I'm on the wrong side, but no, I'm in the
Yeah.
right, I'm on the right side. So I'm now used to the left side. So yeah, even when I was driving with you guys, and it was at a highway or something, and like turn on the middle line or something you were saying. So I turned, but it was the opposite because like,
Yeah.
oh, somebody's coming, like,
That was a
oops,
a
sorry,
little
I'm
bit
the
scary.
other side of the road.
But I was kind of laughing a bit because when we were in Mauritius, we did exactly the same, but you know, the other way around. Whenever we tried to use the index, you were cleaning the windows because it's the opposite way, so you got
Yes,
so used to
also,
it.
yeah,
And you did the same now. You were like cleaning the windows, like instead of
yeah,
using
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
index. I was just
Yes, that was
laughing a bit, like, yeah, you need to get used to back. But that was kind of my immediate kind of reflection when I went back as well, that I feel that Hungarian people are more stressed for sure, and they have a lot of tension in themselves. I think just in general about how they interact with each other and how they interact on the road. And what I realized, and maybe it's just my family.
oh,
No, it's actually not true. And I know that we can talk a lot and I can talk a lot, but I think it's kind of handling interactions a little bit differently than before, and maybe chilling down a bit more. And you kind of learn that you don't necessarily have to say everything, and maybe you need to think first a bit and just listen, give space for the others to talk as well. In Hungary, everyone is like blah 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 blah, blah. Like they never stop talking, and sometimes you're just like, oh, my head is full. Like there is not 1 minute when people are not talking. It's just like constant blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
And yeah, of course,
It depends on the person as well.
I know
My
we were
family
the
is
same.
also like that. They're just talking. I want to say something, but it's impossible because everyone is just talking.
Yeah, it's like
So
over talking each other, like, and then I'm like, okay, I know I used to be the same, and I know, and that's why I always say that I really tell you that Hungarians are more closer to the southern cultures because like we never can shut up. It's like, and everyone has an opinion about everything. Like
yeah,
that's another thing, because what I appreciate actually in the Danish culture is that people keep their opinions themselves, and people, they accept whatever way you go. No, in Hungary, they don't want to accept. They want to convince you that the way how they think is the right way, and they're gonna
that's
do it
true.
as long as they can. They don't give up. So you just have to listen and listen and listen. Every opinion they have, why it's better or why it's the way how it should be, which can be actually a little bit tiresome. How do you feel, Moni? Isn't it the case? What is your
Yes,
impression?
that's so true. I mean, my family also talks a lot, and then it's true that everyone wants to. They tell the opinion or what you should do. They wanna convince you of their opinion and their view is the good one, and people are. I think it's hard for the people to accept the other people's view and opinion if they have a different uh, point of view.
Yeah,
And that's a problem, I think here. That's why there are like conflicts and stuff. Like obviously we are different people with different opinions and different personalities. So this is like normal. And yeah, maybe abroad it's not so common
yeah,
that they come and they try to give you these advices regarding your like private decisions. I mean, it's your life. So I mean,
mm,
okay, it's normal. I think that family, maybe everywhere, it's if it's your family, they wanna they want the best for you. I mean, your
yeah,
mom and or your parents, obviously.
yeah,
But yeah, when like friends or strangers, they wanna tell you what to do, then it's like okay. um yeah,
yeah,
so that's true. But and
yeah.
how do you
True.
feel like when you come home? Do you feel a little bit like an outsider, or you are not feeling that much of like you're coming home, or do you have a feeling that you're just a visitor and you don't?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, once you don't have a home here and you come visiting, which means you have to move into someone's house, parents, sisters, siblings. It's not the same because you kind of go into their own personal space. You don't really have your own personal space. We just have to kind of adjust to their habits and everything they do. And it's nice for a while, but then it's also
Yeah,
nice to come back because you just want your own space. And I think you start to realize that you have a lot of habits which are different from the traditional way of how the family are maybe doing things. And actually it can differ because some of my sisters are more open-minded and open for, new ways and new directions. And that's a bit easier for me as well. But I think in general, it's a bit of a strange feeling because your home is now your home country. For me, it's Denmark now, and the way how I do things and how I got things, and you pick up a lot of things from other cultures. And that becomes yours in the future. So it's a bit a weird
yeah,
feeling. I don't know how you. And of course, it's kind of gypsy life that you have to leave your
it
luggage
is.
and
It is.
you know figuring out what clothes you got. You only got bagged, and
Yeah,
um, it's all a mess. You never find anything, and it's all
yeah. It's
cringly. How can I wash? Who please
yeah.
someone
It
wash
happened
clothes
to me. I
for me?
didn't
Stuff
have
like that.
clean clothes, so I had to buy new clothes because I couldn't wash my clothes. Yeah, that's the thing that you kind of
So
you feel like, yeah, you just like a visitor because you don't have your own home here. You just, okay, you're
mm,
staying at your parents' house, or I was staying with my friend's house. But obviously then you have to adapt to
yeah.
their habits, which is obviously completely different. And then, but of course you want to try to, you don't want to disturb them or bother them. Yeah, and then you have all these like luggages, and then I have to pack. And usually when we come home, we staying in different places because of my parents and my husband's parents, or and we lived in Budapest, so we have friends there, we have family.
So how do you do the visit? So you go through
Yes,
on
we just like
everyone's, like
moving
you visit
around the whole
everyone.
country basically. So, and then you have to
Yeah.
pack your stuff. And we have like 6 or 7 big luggages. I mean, because of the kids as well. So, and then just always packing. Where is this? Where is that? Oh, we didn't bring this, or we left it in Mauritius. And and yeah, and then we went to this trip to
Yeah.
Slovenia, and like, oh, I don't have any coat. It was cold. I didn't expect cold weather. And
Yeah.
anyway, I don't have a coat in Mauritius because you don't need it. So it's like, oh, it's cold and it's
Yeah.
rainy. And I don't have any coat or raincoat or anything. So yeah, you don't have your, like, okay, you have some of your stuff, but not all of
Mm,
your stuff. And it's just, and everywhere you just feel like, oh, you're just a visitor. You are in a visitor's room or a
yeah.
guest room. And yeah, you cannot really feel like
Yeah.
home. So for us, it's when we come once in a year, it's almost, yeah, actually it's 1.5 months, so it's quite a long visit. And yeah, I was just telling you that at the beginning I felt like, oh, it's so nice to be back in Hungary. I missed it. I miss the family. I miss the food. I missed everything. So at first I felt, oh, I don't want to go back to Mauritius. And then now, like after months, I just feel like, oh, I miss our home basically in Mauritius. I miss, my own bed, sleeping
Yeah.
there, not to have all these luggages all around me, the back to normal normal life. So it's, yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. It's
I used to do the same when I went home, that, scheduling in time with everyone, even with you guys in the beginning, like to meet and, and visit my mom, who lives separate, and all my sisters, and be a little bit everywhere. And it was just so overwhelming that after a while, I just decided that, you know what? I'm not gonna do this traveling everywhere anymore. I'm going to one place, and then I try to meet with everyone there. And of course, it's not always the case because I'm still going from one to two places. But I try to limit it now, and 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 then, I used to do this, that I always bought gifts for everyone, and our family is so big, and like buying something for everyone, but then you want to buy something which kind of equals, so there is no bad feeling if someone gets this, someone gets that.
Yeah,
And um
it's impossible
it's
every
then you
year to
realize
buy. No.
that your own stuff doesn't even fit in the luggage anymore, because it's full of the
Yeah.
stuff you want to take. And then you're like, after a while, like, I mean, do I really need to do this? I mean, you can almost buy the same things everywhere. Then I was like, I'm not going to bother filling up my luggage with these things anymore, because anyway, it's way too many people. I don't even know what they like anymore, because of course I'm always trying to bring
Oh,
specialties and it's not always working out. But I just stopped doing that, and I stopped doing going around, because then at the end you just felt more exhausted than before, and
yeah,
it's just
that's
very
true. So
tiring.
true. Yeah, I learned a lot from
Yeah.
our first visit last year, because yeah, I did the same. Oh, we bought a lot, like a lot of souvenirs for everyone, and then it's
Mm.
just like, yeah, a whole luggage full of souvenirs, and like, and then this year I was like, okay, I don't want to buy every year
Do you really
souvenirs
need
for
it?
everyone, because it takes a lot of time to go to get the stuff what to buy.
Exactly.
You spend a lot of money. It's
Yeah.
full of, your luggage is full of those things. And even we bought some like souvenirs for some people, and we couldn't even meet those people because we didn't have time. So there is no point. So it's
Mm.
just as my family, do you need something what is like special from Mauritius? I can bring it, but otherwise I'm
Mm.
not gonna just buy random things to you,
Mm.
because what's the point to do that? Yeah, and the other thing is, yeah, also what you mentioned, to meet everyone, to squeeze in this really short visit, to squeeze everyone, and everyone expect you to like,
Mm.
oh, to come here, oh, you are here, you should
Yeah.
visit. And my husband's family also is quite big,
Yeah.
so it's just, meeting everyone, and obviously everyone is lives somewhere else, so you have to travel there and visit there and that, and it's so tiring, and it's exhausting. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
just you are at home, but you just go around the country. And
Going.
yeah, last year we went to too many places, so my husband told me, like, okay, this was too much, and he's so tired after the holiday.
Mm. Yeah.
So this year
Yeah.
I try to cut some of the visits and some of the travels, but I mean, it's really hard, because obviously you want to meet everyone, but it's impossible
Yeah.
to go everywhere and to meet everyone. And they say, oh, this time is not good for us, so can we meet the others? I'm like, no, I cannot. I have only this short period of time. Sorry about that.
Exactly. And I started to do it as well. If you can't make that time, fine, then we don't
Yeah,
meet. Then
next
we
year.
meet next time, because I stopped worry about it, because it's just
Yes.
way too much, way too stressful to fit to everyone's
Yeah,
time
I
and
mean, it's
needs.
not easy,
And
but you have
um,
to do this. As it's just, yeah, you're just going around the country, and you get so tired and exhausted. That was the point of the holiday.
yeah.
Yeah.
And did you feel that, family and friends had their impression of you changed, maybe? Or did they think you changed as a person?
Well,
Or was there ever any
yeah,
feedback
I'm
about
not
that?
really. I mean, I don't think so. I think it was not enough time, or not that long time. That's for you,
Mm.
because nobody mentioned me, but I think I have changed, I'm sure.
Mm.
But actually, people not
Mm.
really. They didn't mention. For you, somebody told you like, "Oh,
Mm.
Aggie, you changed a lot since you live abroad," or you just feel that you changed.
I I know I definitely changed a lot, and I know in the beginning the family was a bit annoyed, because I started to use English words sometimes. When you don't use your own language anymore, I start to forget words, and sometimes I just replace it with an
Yeah,
English word. And they didn't like it. They were like, "Why don't you just use the Hungarian word?" And I was like, "I forgot."
yeah,
I need to talk or read more in Hungarian, so I don't forget it. But yeah, they were annoyed by that, I remember. And 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 I think, if I remember well, I got some comments in the beginning, old colleagues, and yeah, that I am a little bit like, I thought they thought I was a little bit arrogant. Um, I didn't even talk to the people, so
But
I
they
don't know
told you to
why.
your face
I know
or
I have
behind
a
your
way of,
back?
I know around me, and um, I know that, I have a style in general. I know at first when people don't know me, they always think I'm arrogant, and I have a kind of a, maybe a bit more confident attitude, which can intimidate people, but it doesn't mean I'm arrogant. You just need to talk to me. But yeah, I mean, I think when you get more distant from other people, of course, it's always easier to make an opinion, than that when you would be closer to people. Um, but I think in general, I just started to get so far away from those people. We don't really talk anymore, and which I actually a bit sad, because I always like to stay in touch with people, and I'm always a bit sad if we can't make, because I think it's just so nice to go to a country or wherever you go, and visit and meet with the people, and just to catch up, like what's going on with you, what's going on with their lives. I'm curious for every single person, even the colleagues who I was not super close with, but I'm curious, and it was also so nice to see you guys, and see Betty and Andy in Mauritius as well. We've never been like best friends, but it's just nice to catch up, and just to, you hang out with those people, and just to know what's going on with their life. I think everyone has some natural interest now, in other people's life, so it's always nice to catch
Yeah.
up.
But even if
Yeah,
you, I mean, live at home, I mean, you are constantly changing. So it can happen even if you stay
yeah,
at Hungary and you
yeah,
know, you cannot be friends with everyone, and maybe you change position or job and you go somewhere else, and then you don't keep touch with those
yeah,
people. So it can happen. But obviously, when yeah, if you move
yeah,
abroad, it's harder to keep in touch, and some people maybe they just
yeah,
don't wanna make the effort to meet you and to have this interest
mm,
and talk to you. So, but
yeah. Or maybe they think that you wouldn't be interested, but it doesn't. It's not true, actually. A lot of the times, it's just a matter of reaching out, like, "Hey, what's up?"
yeah,
And it's so nice. I think. Yeah, but talking about cultural shock, which was kind of shocking for me, and people who know me, I'm really not a stingy person. I'm rather the opposite, I would say. Um, but wow, Hungary is expensive now. I was like shocked that prices are the same as here
wow,
in
yeah,
Denmark. And man, we have a different income in Denmark than in Hungary. So it was very big shock for me. And for people, it's almost like natural, which was strange for me. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's the
yeah.
price. And I was like, what? You should be shocked. I would be like going mad. Like, what is this? Like, how can they sell things for the same
Yeah.
prices in
Yeah, they
Denmark? It's
used to it
shocking for
now
me.
because yeah, for us it's
Um,
different because yeah, for us it was also like, oh my God, even like last year when we arrived, like after 1 year,
yeah,
and now again that is just so expensive, like compared to like 1 year ago.
yeah,
But people they just used to it. Okay, they
yeah,
every day they live here, and the prices are going up and up and up. And for us is just after a year is just almost double the price, and
a
just
shock.
yeah, like yeah,
Yeah,
we went to a restaurant and it's like, what? Yeah, so even like from this money, yeah, you can go in a restaurant in Mauritius, because I remember when we moved there
yeah,
2 years ago, or almost 2 years. I think the prices were higher in Mauritius. We felt a little bit like, oh,
mm,
everything is a bit more expensive, but now it feels like, oh, it's there, or even sometimes it's more expensive here. And I mean, yeah,
yeah,
it's
exactly. Actually, like even some services and some things sometimes we're discussing with my sisters. I used to, when I used to go back to Hungary, I always, you know, a routine, like going to the hairdresser, going to manicure, pedicure, facial, cleansing, everything. But actually, the services are the
Yeah, they
same
also
price
have
now
to
in
they
Hungary
have
as
to
in Denmark.
increase the
So why
price
would I
because
bother?
everything is so
Yeah,
expensive. So yeah,
yeah,
it was kind of a shock for us too. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Expensive. Yeah. But you know what is nice still, when I'm going home? What I like in my family actually, that they are always on the go, and they are randomly like, Agnes, you came home. Let's go and see this. Let's go hiking there. Let's go do that. You know, like they're very active, just coming up with random programs, just popping up in their mind the night before, and we're like, okay, let's drive 2 hours and see this and that. So we were seeing some wine regions, Tokaj, which is quite famous in Hungary,
it's nice.
this time when I was there, and went to see some historical sites like Opus de Serve, and we could learn things about Hungary's history and how the Hungarians landed in Europe. Because if you guys didn't know that, Hungarians, we are not from Europe, and we are very different from any of other countries here. Also, our language, and it's nice to kind of go back to the roots a bit, and also just see the architecture um, and all those traditional things in Hungary. You become a little bit of a
Yeah,
tourist yourself when
that's
you go
true.
back.
I was like,
Yeah.
now
Mm.
I'm staying in Szeged, which is quite a big city in Hungary, and it's really beautiful. So when we were walking, I was like taking some photos of the fountain. There is a
Yeah.
dancing fountain with the lights and music, and we were
Mm.
like taking videos like
Yeah.
tourists. So it's nice. I miss this
Yeah.
because in Mauritius you have the ocean and the beaches and the palm trees, but yeah, you don't have this like
Mm.
the architecture and this historical places and castles and this landscape. So
Those traditions in Hungary are quite nice. I have to say, it gives a charm to the country, this culture. And I miss that actually. I think that's what I miss the most from Hungary, this culture. And even though, when we went to this winery area, and we had this dinner with this lady who has her own winery since a long time, and a private place in Tokaj, and talking about history and how they started, and just talking about the area and how people are doing in the area. And um, there is uh, there is quite a struggle in that area, not, to keep up these wineries in a good condition, and get money to do that. And I think probably some knowledge missing, or should be there, and of course money, capital to do that. But it's just like, it's so crazy, because now that I kind of left the country, and they talk about Hungary, and those traditional values which they have there, and the struggles, it makes me so emotional sometimes, that, oh my god, you have so much value and treasure in that country, and this economical struggle they have puts them in a very tough situation. And you hear these old people struggling, and they have so much knowledge about the wine, they just don't have the money maybe to invest to do. And it just, I don't know, it's I look at it in a very different way as when I used to live there. I look back in a way that it's such a big value, which is so unique. In And now I can compare, because there are a lot of things around the world which is working better than in Hungary, definitely, as the system itself. But the values and the traditions are so unique, and it just makes me sometimes sad if it's not kept or developed further. That would be. I would love to see that actually rising a bit more.
yeah, Hungary has
Um,
so much
and I don't know how
potential,
you
but
feel.
it's
Yeah,
because of
yeah,
the economical situation, it's hard to exploit those. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But that is, yeah, that is. I feel like those things will always stay in the bottom of my heart from Hungary.
yeah, it's always
Yeah,
nice to come back to Hungary, even if There are like, okay, a lot of
Mm,
bad things about Hungary,
yeah,
but still, this is our home. Even if you feel
yeah,
sometimes you coming back and you are different and the country is
yeah.
different, but it's always gonna be our home.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And I actually, at the end of the day, I would say, because, when I spend some time at home, kind of nice to come back because you're like, okay, it was enough, It's like a busy Italian family, almost like, very busy and talking and a lot of things are happening, but I kind of like the temperament Hungarians have, this temperament and the love, and they express everything. There is nothing said unsaid or nothing left unsaid, right? It's just such a direct and yeah, lovely environment, which can be overwhelming after a while if you're not used to it, but it's just such a nice vibe, I think,
Definitely.
there. So I kind of feel like I think I'm in a place that I have to be, because I think just moving around the world gives you so much knowledge and mature you in life. But it's just very nice to root back and be a little bit in that space again. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how you feel feel
same
about
for
it.
me. It's always really nice to come back, and we are even before, like, one
Mm.
month before we are coming, like preparing already. Oh, what we're gonna eat, what we're gonna do. So it's always like the
Mhm.
kids are really excited. So it's always nice, but also usually by end of our trip here, we feel like, oh, it's nice to go back to Mauritius, to our house, to our stuff, to our
Mm.
normal life. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's normal to have a little heartache. I don't know, like, also this time you haven't left yet, but I don't know. I don't. I mean, I left such a long time ago, but still, okay, now it was a long time since I seen my family. But when I left, I don't know. When I come back, I always like the first moments, when my boyfriend came to pick me up at the airport, and he was like, "So how was it?" And I was just, it's just like the faces of my sisters when they said hi, and they looking at you like, "Oh, we're not gonna see you again for a while." It just like makes me like, oh, and I was just crying a bit, and I was like, it's so crazy. I left such a long time ago, but still, when I leave, I always cry a little bit because I'm missing them so much. But it's at the same time, I'm like, I'm happy to be back, and it's nice to be back. And I'm if I could go back and choose again, I would leave again, because this is how it should be, and I enjoy it here. And probably if I would be that too long, I would get annoyed by them. I love them, by the way, um, but it's always like the first day. It's always so emotional for me, because it's like, oh, I really really miss them. So nice people, and I love the culture in Hungary. And I could spend much more time there, actually, just to even learn about the culture. Because when you live there, sometimes you take
That's
those things
true.
for granted, and you don't even realize how many values you have there.
You don't
Um,
appreciate
and
those
when you
things.
leave
When you
and you go
leave, then
back,
you start to appreciate those
yeah,
things, no? Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
exactly. And it's yeah, it's nice to go back. It's nice to go back. It's also nice to be back, but
This is expat
Hungary is
lives.
always gonna, yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, then you haven't left yet, so maybe the crying
Yes.
moment is gonna come after.
In a few weeks.
Yeah, yeah, but nice, because you stayed there enough for what, a month? You stay
One
normally
and
in
a half
Hungary,
months, actually.
or more than 1.5 months. So maybe after 1.5 months, you're
Yeah,
like happy
yeah,
to
I think
run,
so.
like,
It
go
will
back,
be enough.
girl. Yeah.
No, of course I like it here, but
Yeah.
also, like, I already started to feel like, oh, will be nice to go back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. It is. It is what it is. We have to live with that for the rest of our life, I think. And those who decide to move to another culture, this is how it's going to be. And I think it's a nice feeling as well to have this
You have two homes.
a bit of a mess
It's
at
better
your
than
home.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Thank you
Super.
guys for listening to us.
Thank you
And
guys
follow us on
for listening
Facebook,
to us.
Instagram, TikTok. Now we have a TikTok, YouTube.
YouTube
Subscribe on our YouTube channel and Spotify as
and
well.
Spotify. And I love that on our Danish episode we got a lot of comments and corrections and questions and advice what to read and to learn more about the culture. I would love to hear out other expats as well, or even those who live in Hungary on our YouTube channel. Put some comments. I'm so curious because it's so
Yeah,
nice to hear those things as
of
well.
course.
So do that, guys.
Okay. See you.
Super. All right. Thank you guys for listening us again. Bye.